Hello, welcome to another video by Indicator Vault. And in this video, we're going to go over the Candlestick Patterns Pro. This is for NinjaTrader. And real quick, before we go any further, I want to point out the settings here is a great, in-depth and very thorough patterns that this finds. And obviously, as the name suggests, it's finding candlestick patterns. Many of the very popular ones, both bullish and bearish patterns. You can see here, starting hammer, shooting star, all the way scrolling down here, all the ones you can select to have turned on. If you have your favorite patterns, you can have them, only those show. If you're just, like a hammer or a morning star pattern person, you can only have those show if you'd prefer. And then even a trend filter option on as well. So obviously you can see there's a large number of patterns that this indicator will find and paint on your chart. And, I've got the rectangles painted here. If you don't like that, if it kind of maybe adds a little clutter to your chart, you can turn those off as well, just to make it a little bit more clean. But, as we can see here on the ES hourly chart and, kind of going up here, we've got ourselves a downtrend, quite a strong downtrend. And like you've seen in some other videos, just a simple premium and discount price action concept, as we see here. I've just got the 50% and the 61.8, but here we see, a clearly defined range from this high to this low. Price comes up into the premium side. And what do we see here? A bearish shooting star pattern form. And so just something very simple right there in just a matter of seconds, have two confirmations for short, actually three. When you look at, we're in a bearish downtrend. We have a range that we find here from this high to low. Prices retrace into the premium side or the overbought side. And we have a bearish pattern form in the premium side of the current range. And so plenty of bearish confirmations for downward movement. And of course, that's what we see here. And, all along here, we don't see any other bullish patterns. We do see another bearish one. Price does kind of poke above it here some, but we see the bearishness continue strongly. And then here in this example, we're on the NASDAQ 10-minute chart, Candlestick Patterns Pro, and another indicator vault one, the Master MACD. And as we can see here, we've got two bearish patterns, engulfing and outside down patterns overlapping here. And one thing that makes, this indicator work well with this, or at least something you can look to pair it together with candlestick patterns, is a rule set of finding the alerts or the sell signals either overlapping or within a certain amount of candles of the pattern. So obviously if we had, we can see here this sell signal, let me kind of make it more distinct here, is just two candles after we see these bearish candlestick patterns show. And of course that coincides with the MA moving below the zero line here and indicating, that bearish momentum could possibly be starting. And of course, we already have the confirmation of bearish candlestick patterns forming here. Just two candles later, the Master MACD is showing signs of bearish momentum with this cross below and that signal here. And what do we see here? A move down, retracement, just takes liquidity, doesn't break the high here. And a very sharp drop continuing down. And then, of course, just eyeballing it, it looks like the range that price is in, going from this high to this low, clearly in the premium side of the current range, just like in the example we went over previous to this. So again, so many confirmations for getting in somewhere in here. Once I have my bias set, I like to first look for some liquidity taken. And of course, you could have gotten in here as it took this liquidity and gotten a nice run down. Didn't quite take this low yet, but if you're managing your risk properly, taking some partials probably below this low or below this low, maybe even moving your stop to break even. And then, would have taken you out here, but still a great entry. Now seeing this as liquidity and making another run into premium of the same range. Remember, price doesn't break this range, so we're still operating in this same high to low region. So our bias is still bearish, still plenty of confirmation for downside movement. And of course, that's what we see here on this trade. And going over the same price action as well, I've removed the master MACD and I've added the justified price zone indicator from indicator vault as well. And, these are going to be very strong zones it paints. And, you don't have to do the work with the Candlestick Pattern Pro. This is going to find the bearish patterns already. And as we can see here, we have this alert after this retest. This is all verifying that this is a bullish zone, a kind of a high retrace into the zone, but it's still never broken. And what do we see here? Inside of the bearish zone, we are seeing these bearish candlestick patterns form. So again, confirming, bearish movement down, that our bias that we should see some impulsive moves to the downside. And of course, again, that's what we get. Initially, some liquidity taken and a move down. One last run on liquidity. The zone holds. The candlestick patterns confirm our bias and a very strong move down. Filtering out some of these bullish ones because, if you're using a two-part or two indicator system, no confirmation that, these will hold and no really clear defined range yet or market structure shift breaking to the upside to confirm, a strong move up yet. And so, again, just simple confirmations. And again, the same range with the fib and the premium, the bearish zone forming in the premium, and the Candlestick Pattern Pro, with the cherry on top, with the patterns right inside of the zone. And then for our last example, got the Apple 30-minute chart here, and I've added the top bottom finder. And for this one, obviously, as the name suggests, tops and bottoms, it is going to point out. And for this, I always look for a move away initially from the line here. And again, we have a video on the top bottom finder as well you can check out. But look at this. As the bullish signal paints, we are getting a bullish belt hold candlestick pattern right in this same this fractal as well. So we have a move away, bullish candlestick pattern with the bullish signal from the top bottom finder, confirming some bullishness. We see a great move up, and then very simple fib work. Once again, we've got a range here from this low, anchoring it on this high. Slow retracement, not a quick one, but we still see a retracement into the discount of the current range. And then what do we see here as discount? We do see a strong move up, but forming in the discount part of the range, another bullish pattern, rising window. And as we can see, super strong move up taking out numerous highs, this high, and then even just forming a very, expansive, very strong move up as well. This, even just holding till this high here, as you can see, these took it out, would have been an incredible trade already. And that's just forming, pairing it with the justified price zone, overlapping confirmations all right here. Even once this candle closed and we have the candlestick pattern with the bullish alert, even getting in on the next candle would have been very reasonable with your stop either below here or even, below this low, which is slightly lower. Coming in to feel this gap, a small scalp there, but then even the retracement with still bullish bias back into the discount of the current range. Again, another bullish candlestick pattern. And then we get the strong impulsive move up. So this is just going over some ways you could pair the candlestick patterns just with some other price action concepts and other indicators. And it's great confirmation, for your bullish or bearish, bias for the day, or even, great for swing trading as well. So I hope this video was helpful, and until next time, best of luck trading.